there's talk that there'll be a false flag where the Al-Aqsa Mosque is destroyed. And why would it be destroyed? Well, because the Al-Aqsa Mosque sits on the site of the Second Temple, or Solomon's Temple. Okay, and that is considered the holiest site in the Jewish tradition. It is where God lives, right? So if you want God to return to the world, you need to build him a nice home. And that is Solomon's Temple, the third temple, they call it. And so they need to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. But if you destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, this will ignite a religious war between the Muslims and the Jews. Every Muslim will be morally obligated to seek jihad against Israel if you were to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So why would they do that? Okay, I'm not saying they're going to do that, but I'm saying like things are going to happen. Things may happen that make absolutely no sense. And what I'm telling people, okay, is first of all, get in the mindset wherever you believe about the world, it's going to be thrown out the window, okay? Because if you just use conventional logic to analyze this war in Iran, it makes no sense. Even today, a week after the war started, even though a lot of damage has been done, even though a lot of people have been killed, no one knows why this war is being fought. Trump and his people have not articulated any real reason why they seek to destroy Iran. The most we have is, at first, Trump is like, okay, we want to get rid of nuclear weapons. We want to get rid of the possibility that Iran engages in uranium enrichment. But the Omanis, who are mediating these talks between the Americans and the Iranians, have already told us that the Iranians had already agreed to zero, absolutely zero uranium enrichment, which is something that they were, adamant about for the longest time, right? They said, we are willing to forever forgo our uranium enrichment program, before they insisted that we are empowered to use uranium enrichment for civilian purposes. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll give that up as well, okay? But not only that, but they relay to the Omanis that, hey, not only are we willing to give up our uranium enrichment program, but we're also willing to negotiate about our proxies, Hezbollah, the Shia militias, Hamas, and the Houthis, but we're also willing to negotiate our ballistic missiles program. The Iranians were willing to give Americans everything that they demanded, which were impossible demands to begin with. And the Americans still attacked. So please explain to me that, okay? That's point number one. Then point number two is, Trump then said that, okay, where we attacked because, well, Israel was going to attack first, and we know the Iranians would respond by attacking us, so we have to preempt the Iranians by attacking them first, okay? But then you're like, why didn't you just tell the Iranians not to attack then, right? You are the superpower. You're the ones financing Israel. You're the ones giving Israel all the weapons it has. Just say, if you attack Iran, you're on your own, all right? And now what they're saying is, well, it's because we're controlled by Israel. Are you really telling me a nation of like 9 million people in a desert is able to control an empire of like 330 million people? That's complete and utter nonsense, okay? So all the reasons that they're giving us make no sense. It's all lies. It's all deception, okay? What they really want to do is destroy the world. That's what they really want to do. They want to destroy the world because that will force Jesus to return. That is part of Christian Zionist eschatology. And again, you don't have to believe me, okay? But like, ask yourself this. First of all, like, why is this war continuing? Okay, number one, why is this war continuing? Okay, number two is, why is Trump asking for unconditional surrender? Why is he refusing to negotiate at all? Number three is, why would America want to send in ground troops? Like what's the purpose of that? I mean, like, aren't you destroying Iran from the air already? Why do you have to send in ground troops, man? Number three, okay? And then what you'll see later on is the destruction of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. The plan is this, okay? There's this diabolical plan where Israel will destroy this mosque, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, but they will pretend it is an Iranian missile, okay? So somehow they're going to embed Mossad operatives in Iran to fire a ballistic hypersonic at this Al-Aqsa Mosque, destroying it. And then what they'll say is like, you see, the Iranians are doing this to provoke us. It's Iranians who are planting this false flag, okay? And what they want to do is create this war between the Arabs and the Persians. So these people are insane. They're crazy. This entire thing is crazy. Take whatever you believe about the world and throw it out the window, okay? Just do that, and then you might understand what's going on. You might understand what's going on. But if you insist on reading history and say, well, you know, in 1979, the Shah was overthrown, and the Americans are pissed about that, you're not gonna get anywhere here.
Jiang, do you see the war getting nuclear?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Okay, all right. So already discussing the possibility of nuclear weapons. And the reason why is that a lot of Iran's ballistic missile capabilities are buried deep underground. And so you cannot actually destroy these facilities using conventional weapons. Even the mother of all bombs, right? Like a huge bomb. Bunker busters get you nowhere, okay? So a tactical nuclear nuke would not destroy the underground facilities, but it would basically seal the entrances. It would make it unlivable. It would cause so much radiation. Okay, so that if you want to win the war conventionally, then you might have to use tactical nuclear weapons, especially if the ground invasion goes wrong. Okay, but there's certain problems with the use of tactical nuclear weapons. Okay, the first thing is this: Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, has already said that Russia will ensure the success and the survival of the Iranians. All right. So already there's talk among the Russians that they will support Iran fully at some point. Okay. Already we know that Russia is providing targeting information and intelligence to Iranians. And that's what NATO did during the Ukraine war. So basically, Russia is just doing what NATO did in Ukraine. It's like payback, right? And eventually, I think what's going to happen is this: if there is actually a ground invasion, and if there's actually a threat that Israel or the United States will use tactical nuclear weapons because the war is going wrong, I think what's going to happen, okay, and it's just a guess, okay, but I think the possibility is that Putin announces that Iran is under the Russian nuclear umbrella. An attack, a tactical nuclear strike against Iran will be considered a tactical nuclear strike against Russia, and Russia will respond with tactical nuclear weapons in Ukraine and against Europe. Okay, that is a real possibility. So that's one point. Another point is this: we assume the Israelis and the Americans want to win this war militarily, but like let's ask yourself. Let's just say that they want this war because it's for eschatological reasons. Okay, if you actually look at the eschatology of the Jews and the Christian Zionists, if you look at all eschatologies, America should not be in the Middle East. It is against the will of God that America is in the Middle East. Therefore, America needs to leave the Middle East, right, for the eschatology to take place. The eschatology requires for Israel to fight the world. America is not involved, right? So how do you get the American empire, which supports the GCC nations, out of the Middle East? CENTCOM is this vast empire unto itself that has like dozens of military bases throughout the Middle East. It has like 50,000 soldiers, right? Well, you get America out of the Middle East if America loses this war, right? So everyone's on the assumption that America is entering this war to win. But it's also possible America entered this war in order to lose, in which case everything's going according to plan. All right. So again, your logic, your understanding of history, your common sense, your belief in the world, fall out the door. Okay. America is not in this war to win. America is in this war to lose.